Welcome to A Course in Business Miracles. This is Heather Dominick, creator of BusinessMiracles.com and founder and leader of the highly sensitive entrepreneur movement. Join me today for some genuine practical assistance and a business-altering and life-changing experience, a business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode 92, HSE feature with real estate consultant Geri Deane. Welcome to this Business Miracles HSE feature episode. I am just so happy to be featuring Geri Deane as a member of the Business Miracles community and as a successful, highly sensitive entrepreneur and leader. Geri, along with being a valued member of the Business Miracles community, is a residential real estate consultant assisting buyers, sellers, and tenants, both locally and globally, to support people who are looking to buy, sell, or rent their dream home in Virginia and around the world, and who may be experiencing a major life transition. So they desire to partner with a real estate consultant they can trust and who will respect them, listen deeply to their needs, and powerfully guide them every step of the way. And a result of their time with Geri, they will feel calm and confident that their real estate transaction was handled in both a personal and professional way. Listen in as I talk with highly sensitive leader and real estate consultant Geri Deane to hear how, after she joined the Business Miracles mentoring programs and learned she was highly sensitive, she changed everything about how she operates in her business and life. Geri now focuses on her uniqueness rather than comparing herself to others, and in just 1 year, her gross income is now 100% over where it was last year, even during a pandemic, which is amazing. I really so loved this conversation with Geri. She is such a genuine hearted woman, and I know you'll feel it too as you listen in. Geri, welcome to the Business Miracles podcast.
Oh, thank you, Heather. I'm so happy to be here.
I am just really looking forward to this opportunity to dive into a deep conversation with you today. I love every opportunity that I have to connect with you when we're able to be in person at our training retreats, all the ways that I connect with you on the forum and our calls as part of your Business Miracles mentoring program, social media, you name it, and now I get the chance to talk to you for 30 minutes. I'm so excited.
Yes, thank you. I'm honored.
All right, beautiful. So you have been a part of the Business Miracles community since 2018. You're currently in the elite program, and I'd love to hear just a little bit more about what it was like for you when you and I first connected and you began your highly sensitive entrepreneur and leader journey. Tell us about the start.
Well, thank you. I was introduced to your program, your mentoring program, by my colleague Jackie. And it was interesting because, I never thought that I was highly sensitive. Once I learned more about your program, I was very much interested and intrigued in learning more about being a highly sensitive entrepreneur or just highly sensitive in general. And so when I joined the program, I joined the 6-month program. And then once I finished that, and I was just so enjoying every bit of it, I actually moved into the core program and thought, core is good enough, and then I didn't even move into core because I really wanted the accountability with a coach that you have, in place in the community. And that has just been phenomenal for me. And, I have learned that, utilizing my strengths, such as being detail-oriented, creative, and being a visionary, just to name a few. And then also learning more about items that we consider to be as shadows, perfectionism, overwhelm. I know more about these, and I know how to address them effectively. And the program just overall, the accountability from an elite perspective and all that has to offer, the masterminds and just my one-on-one with Maureen, I can't ask for anything more.
Well, I can definitely say you have just soaked up everything that is available as far as being a part of the Business Miracles community. And I really hear it, even just as you're speaking right now of, that moment when you realized that you were highly sensitive, and then as you dove into, the mentoring and the training, it really just opened up this entire different world in regards to yourself and the way that you operate, in your business and in your life. And again, I've really just watched you soak it up fully and thoroughly. So tell me about the difference this has made, for you, your business, your life, relationships. What have you noticed the ripple effect from this, willingness to just soak all this in?
Well, it really has made a difference to me, both personally and professionally. And I would say based on relationships, just in general. In 2005, I started my real estate career. In 2015, I was experiencing lymphoma, and I lost my mom during that same period of time. And ever since that, I wasn't driven. I wasn't making a difference, not as much as I would really like to do in everything that I was supporting. And I just needed to change and possibly a different way of doing things and looking at things, in my business and relationships. And I have done just that. And, that I really was able to focus on my uniqueness and not comparing myself to others and continuing to make a difference. Paying it off, paying it forward, and making a difference just in my community, with my relationships with my clients. And, I just think that a lot of that all of our teachings, quite honestly, has made a difference. And so, the uniqueness part was very interesting to me, because you do want to set yourself apart from others in whatever role you're playing, from a professional perspective. And because there's so many real estate consultants, but I had asked some of my clients, I said, what makes me different? What makes me unique? And the one piece that I remember the most is one of my clients said, Geri, there's no judgment. You don't judge me for where I'm at, maybe why I'm making this decision to move, to purchase, and that I respect them and all of their feelings and everything that goes into they're making a decision to move. Maybe it may be positive reasons, it may be a life change, maybe a negative, reason. And, I love that she had said, there's no judgment. You respect me. And of course I wouldn't do anything but that. But, learning some of those aspects of myself really has helped me.
Yeah. I really hear you speaking to those highly sensitive strengths that we have of really being conscientious, right? And also the strength of a deep belief in justice and, and just our strength of empathy. So it sounds like, your clients really reflecting that to you, in that practice of asking, what is it that makes me unique? But I've also really seen you take that feedback that you receive from your clients and really utilize it. You didn't just stop with taking it in. I've really seen you build upon that and then therefore really be able to, grow and experience, an increase of abundance too as part of that. What has happened with the business as a result of this deeper understanding about who you are as a highly sensitive?
Well, I would say, when you look at it from a monetary perspective or, an abundance, if you will, in comparison to my gross income last year, my gross income at this moment is 100% greater than what it was last year. And even during a pandemic, which is amazing.
Amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with the connections that I have and that I continue to receive. And I just think that I don't have a team per se, but I would want to say that I think that I do have colleagues, that'll refer clients to me, which is an absolute honor, in addition to referrals from my clients.
Yes. Well, I love this because what I hear you describing is, really being able to create substantial financial business success through how we work best as highly sensitive, which is that we're really effective when it comes to creating deep, intimate relationships. So you are literally like a walking example, a demonstration of utilizing our strengths and our natural way of interacting as highly sensitive and allowing that to create success for you versus, which so many highly sensitives do, is they try to just replicate what the other 80% does with big marketing, big net casting, investing a lot, big campaigns, and that's not what you've done at all. You've literally built off of your highly sensitive strength and natural ability to create relationships, and your colleagues refer to you and your clients refer to you, and as a result, you've had a 100% increase just doing what you do well, truly.
Thank you. I think to me the relationship has always been the most important to me in my role versus the transaction. The transaction's important, but it's not the most important to me. And when I'm able to assist a buyer, seller, or a tenant make a move wherever, locally or globally, or even just right down the street, I am so honored to work with them and for them. And they trust me, and they know that I will exceed their expectations because that's my goal. But at the same time, I just think that, like even some first-time home buyers, I love working with them because I know that they'll be well taken care of with the largest purchase, a big decision in their life. And, I want them to be nothing but successful with that and have enough information to make a fully informed decision. And I learn and grow with them, each of the opportunities just in general. So, I think there's a huge trust involved in that relationship, and it works both ways. And also, I would say based on, what I have learned with your teachings, who is my ideal client? And right away now, when there's individuals that I may meet, and I'm just like, no, it's not a good fit, and I'm okay to make that decision, because it really has to be the right fit. So, and I want them to be like me.
Yeah. Right. Trust versus fear.
Yep.
Yeah. And again, really just, hearing you describe why I always say that we truly are coded as highly sensitives to create success. It just needs to be done differently than the majority of what you're seeing out there. And what you're describing is such a beautiful example. So tell me a bit more about pay it off, pay it forward, and pay myself.
Well, as we come up with our diamond plans and our 30-day plans, they're a subset of that. That's where the accountability comes in for me, and that was something that I really needed to have for myself, both from a personal perspective and professionally. And so we had built our house primarily to take care of my mom and dad, and so I had some debt that was still lingering from the build process, and I just said, this is my vision, for this year, and it was going to be, pay it off and pay it forward and pay myself. And I've been able to do that this year. I paid my car off early, which is huge for me. And so it's so invigorating, and it feels like such a huge accomplishment. And then also I did have a 5-figure debt that was tied to the build, and I've been able to pay that off. And then I continue to just focus on relationship with money, again, thanks to your money mindset trainings. It's a huge awareness, and it's kind of funny because prior to that, you don't really think about your spending and how you spend it and why you spend it. And, I've learned to really focus on what makes the most sense. And I love to not only pay off debt, of course, that's huge, but to pay it forward. And I know within those individuals, some that I have met in my community, I'll do things to make a difference. And then also, if there's a way that I can contribute to them monetarily I know it would really benefit them, I do that. I like to keep it local, but I love just making a difference just in so many ways. Mm-hmm. And I think that has a lot to do with just my makeup as a highly sensitive, in my heart.
Yes.
And it just gives me just a great feeling of a reward to myself when I do things like that. So, that is what I've been accomplishing so far this year, and I couldn't be more proud of that just in general.
Oh, my gosh, yes. I mean, you've mentioned your contribution to community, twice in this conversation so far, and I think that's so significant because that also is, a mark of who we are as highly sensitive. We're not necessarily about creating the success just to buy more shoes, right? Not that there's anything wrong with a good shoes, but
yeah, exactly.
But the fulfillment is when we, are able to, use the abundance that we're able to create to also significantly make a difference for others. And so I, really appreciate hearing about that. But I also really appreciate, as you mentioned, that you really set that phrase, pay it off, pay it forward, and pay myself as your guidepost, as part of the Diamond Plan, which you mentioned, which is a 6-month planning process, and then to be able to keep it moving forward through the 30-day plans, but also the money mindset trainings. And I love hearing that what you took away from the money mindset training specifically is about that consciousness. And the money mindset trainings, as you know, all come from my own experience of changing my relationship with money. And that consciousness piece is such a key piece. And so I just really appreciate hearing that that's something that you've really been able to maintain. And it sounds like it really, stays with you. So that's really beautiful. I know you've also shared with me about that one of your favorite teachings in the Business Miracles trainings is about the law of adaptation. So I'd love for you to share a little bit more about that.
Okay. Well, there's so many to choose from, just in general, but, really and truly, my favorite is the law of adaptation. And, in our highly sensitive community, it's one where I have learned and continue to learn from every member. It's not a program specifically for relating to real estate. So anyone that is considering moving into an entrepreneurial role, they're in corporate and they're thinking like, okay, I really want to do something for myself. I really want to make a difference. And from that perspective, I look at this and say, this is the best mentoring that you will ever experience. And also, it helps you build the foundation for you to be nothing but successful. And what I mean by that is that in our training retreats, which are just phenomenal, and the connection that we have to each other in our community, and everybody is focused on something else. It's not just, okay, this is real estate. Okay, and how many cold calls have you made and how many this and that have you done? But strictly real estate. In our community, the law of adaptation for an individual who's in a coaching role, I am able to take those teachings and their thoughts and maybe the way that they're approaching their business, and I apply it to mine and just maybe modify it just slightly, but it's like, oh, that's such a great idea. And it's so interesting and so motivating to learn from each other as well as from you and the coaches. I think that, and I know, I don't just think, but I know that that has really helped me as far as, my entrepreneurial role and also moving into a leadership role, as a highly sensitive. I mean, when I was in a corporate role, yes, I had managed to grow in my career and I had staff reporting to me. And, in a leadership role where, you're leading by example, and I continue to do that, but I do it differently now. And again, using my strengths as a highly sensitive in, whether it's marketing, whether it is just communication in general with my clients or, potential clients. I just think overall that adaptation, everybody benefits from. And, the other part I think about is in our community, setting an example that there's no right, no wrong, no judgment. And I even love that even more, because you may have an idea, you may have something affecting your business that, you just really need to share. And, part of being vulnerable, I would say, and just being visible. And everybody feels comfortable in having those conversations, whether it's on our weekly call, whether it's on, a get it done day, whether it's at a retreat. I mean, it's just amazing. So, I mean, you're a true leader, and you set an excellent example for us how we would use our skills as strengths, to continue and be nothing but successful. That's how I feel.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Well, I love this because choosing the law of adaptation as one of the teachings that, stands out to you the most, I think really does speak to the heart of, what we do in the Business Miracles community, because as you said, not everyone in the community is in real estate, and not everyone in the community is in coaching, but we literally have representations from all forms of business and all forms of life in different countries and different cultures. And the law of adaptation really is about also strengthening that muscle of personal responsibility, right? So rather than, expecting a program just to give you like a formulaic way of doing real estate, for example, is we're teaching how each individual in the community is meant to tap into their own self, their own strengths, and then how are they meant to personally apply the teaching so that it works for them. So, the intention is the, don't give a fish, but teach to fish, right? So I love hearing you, speak to that and how you really find such value in that. And you truly have, again, just soaked it up and put it into practice and, created a whole different experience of life and business for yourself. So then, Geri, you're welcome. And what's next? What's next for you?
When I think about what's next, I'm excited to continue to learn, and grow in my highly sensitive role. And again, from a leadership perspective, focusing on relationships, to continue to do that and not the transaction, but then also as an end result, making a difference for my clients, in my real estate consultant role. And I'm excited about, all of the teachings that we do have when we do have our fall retreat and all of the new learnings that you prepare. That's exciting to me. It's not like, okay, let's go to chapter 2 and here we go. It's just a wow. And every time when we do have our retreats, you just can't explain it. So again, I just value all that you have to share with us from your experience, from your purpose, and that we can then take that law of adaptation and apply it to our own lives, our own business, and continue to make a difference. These are exceptional times, and I continue to be innovative and try to continue to make the difference that I want for everyone.
Yes, for sure. I do keep things happening in real time, don't I?
Absolutely, you do. And Heather, that was so instrumental, because I think that we all were learning and trying to understand this whole turmoil, I would say, and the pandemic in our world and everything from a global perspective. It's not just, it's over in Virginia or, it's in New York no, it's everywhere, and thankful so much to you for all that you have done and continue to do to address the exceptional times and moving forward and everything of just making a difference. It's huge.
Thank you. What would you have to say to other highly sensitives who are listening and really thinking like, wow, I want to truly be, fulfilling my purpose as a highly sensitive. I don't want to just cope through this life, but I really want to be, creating and fulfilling the role that I've been brought here to play. What would you have to say to them?
Well, I was in their shoes once, and then I had been in corporate for many, many years, and I would say that they owe it to themselves to learn more about what it means to be highly sensitive and just what that all consists of, and then the teachings and mentoring, that you provide. It's absolutely amazing, both personally and professionally. And it will guide them as far as making decisions, as far as moving into an entrepreneurial role, but it's incredible. They owe it to themselves to investigate this, and it could be for them, and maybe it's not, but you don't know what you don't know, and I would have to guess that they will relate to it in some form or fashion, and they'll be like, wow, never thought that this related to me. So before they move forward into expending, tons of money or time and effort, do it the right way. And this is the right way. I know it is for me, and I know it is for many others.
It's beautiful. And where can listeners find out more about the amazing work that you are doing in the world as a highly sensitive?
Oh, thank you, Heather. Well, the best way would be to connect with me on my website, which is gerideane.com, and that's Geri spelled Geri and Deane spelled Deane. And I'll be glad to assist them whenever they're ready.
Yes, beautiful. Definitely see the amazing work that Geri is doing in the world of real estate and successfully as a highly sensitive. Geri, thank you so much for this time. It's just been delightful to be able to sit here and virtually share a cup of tea and this conversation with you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Heather. I'm honored, again, to have met you and to be able to have the opportunity to learn and grow with you. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Many blessings, many business miracles, and until next time.
Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Course in Business Miracles. If you're ready to learn how to use your highly sensitive abilities to support you in being purposeful, profitable, and empowered rather than scattered, poor, and undervalued, take my free self-quiz to find out if you are indeed a highly sensitive entrepreneur. And if you are, along with your quiz results, you'll receive my free HSE Success Guide, which will teach you how to have your highly sensitive abilities working for you to create the results you desire in your business. Take the quiz and receive your free success guide now at www.hsequiz.com.